So over the course of a 6-month Curse of Strahd campaign that I DM'd, a player, who will be called Blue from here on, began stirring up mischief. She would fireball with party members in the area and say, "It's what my character would do," like a walking cliche. And while nobody really wanted to play with her, nobody wanted to pull the trigger and kick her out. I even tried to kick her on multiple occasions, and the party would ask me to keep her, just in case she got better at the game. Judging by the fact that this post exists, you can assume that she didn't. So Blue kept playing and ripping off Game of Thrones with every character she would make. But Blue decided that she wanted to DM a game, and told us that she was going to run Mythic Odysseys of Theros for a while. So we decided that she might be a better DM than player, and gave her a chance. I made a ditzy cleric named Caius, and everyone else made their Greek hero themed characters. But as soon as we got in, and we were approached by a woman in all red clothes with a red gem, I thought, hold up, is this a Game of Thrones reference? Turns out, she never bought Theros, and changed her mind, and started a Game of Thrones campaign without telling us about it. Now we all explicitly didn't want this, since we told her not to do that with us before, but we still gave it a shot, and we got into a few fights. 3 baby dragons at level 1. Following that, she threw 2 icy undead. These encounters were brutal, and we long rested, which was followed up by a mage with 7 illusion clones and then a sea hag. But thankfully, we escaped out of the area with the hag and dodged the fight. Still, it was way too tough, and we were already seeing red flags. Although we hit level 2 by the end of session 1. Session 2 started with a fight between the party and 2 direwolves, which one-shot me and the druid with 1 hit each over the course of 2 rounds. But through careful strategy, we barely survived. Why were they direwolves? Probably because Game of Thrones was using them. Then we went into a town and quickly learned through some janky exposition that they were going to sacrifice a baby to a White Walker, like that one subplot in Game of Thrones. So we obviously fought to save the baby and decided that our characters had no stake in this plot, so we decided to follow through on that open world promise we got and headed south in hopes of finding reasons for our characters to get involved in the plot. That's when Blue said, "As you head north," prompting us all to protest, saying we were going south instead, which she ignored. Thus, the railroad trap had been sprung. We ran into a White Walker who wanted the baby back, and we ended session 2 with a cliffhanger and the promise of an initiative roll. Once we jumped back in, Blue ganked us with high initiative and the White Walker having 3 attacks, which would have dropped me in 1 hit if I hadn't set up temporary hit points for myself earlier in session 2. Then it somehow charmed me, which forced me to fight the party until, after 110-ish damage, they managed to put it down. Quick reminder that we are level 2. So we saved the baby and went south like we wanted to, and had a long rest since the nearest town still wanted us dead for saving the baby that they wanted to kill. That's when about 8 feet of snow dropped down on us while we were sleeping. Somehow. We struggled to get out of the snow, which suffocated the druid and the rogue, almost to death. But the baby died, prompting my once happy-go-lucky cleric to kinda go into shell shock due to his character flaws. Then, the second White Walker showed up, but this one had different, stronger stats. The rogue and monk tried to fight it and lost, while the druid ran away, and my character spent a lot of the fight in a shock-like state that prevented him from doing anything. That is, until the rogue went down, which snapped him out of it and caused him to go into a rage mode. He healed the monk and critted a stab on it, which did basically nothing. So the monk did what monks do and punched the walker. His fist shattered into pieces. Again, we are level 2. He tried to elbow it. His arm is now gone. The walker, in one turn, one-shots the rest of the party and then leaves. It became very clear that the DM either didn't know how to balance encounters or was power tripping. Judging by her grin, she was enjoying the TPK far too much. Through death saves, the rogue dies, and somehow the druid drops dead from some unknown magic. The monk and I survived, but neither of us wanted to play in the game anymore, so I left the campaign. Between railroading, bad plot, unfair encounters, and lack of agency, the game was not worth playing in anymore, and I hope to never have to play with Blue again, because I would rather have my arm shatter than ever sit down at a gaming table with her again. This story should have ended when Blue changed the game to a Game of Thrones campaign when the group said not to do that, but it didn't. This story could have ended when Blue said that you were heading north when everyone said south, but it didn't. It didn't end until Blue got exactly what she wanted, which was a TPK, and that's just sad. This is what happens when you stare at a dumpster fire for too long and you end up with third-degree burns. What do you all think about this situation?